Alright, committee number 2, ballasting. Ballast. Selected material placed on the roadbed with the purpose of holding the track in line and surface broken and crushed stone broken, the artificial means with small fragments in specified states. Chats. Tiling of the mills with zinc and lead ores separated from the rock within which the occur of the gravel. Sworn and fragments of the rock coarse and this sand occurring in the natural deposit sand. Any hard granular continuing with the rock material finer than gravel, coarser than dust. Chert is an important flint with the hoar stone occurs in the beds. Center the residual form of the fuel with the use in locomotives and other furnaces. Slag, the waste production of more or less vertified form of the furnaces from the reduction of ore usually produced with the blast furnace. Burnt clay, a clay of gumbo which has been burned into the material for the ballast. Gumbo is a term commonly used for the purely tenacious clay and containing no sand. Ballasting, general conclusions. While the general variation of the quality of the different natural materials of the ballast, choice of the quality is not usually left to the engineer and has been made with the already nature, although it is left to them to decide what the most available, the most expended, but each of the one must be decided with himself left to his own circumstance. The question of the financing may be ruling consideration of that there may be one thing that be had to make the nothing. In case of the crushed rock, however, the process of the manufacturing being under the control is practical, the most product conforming to the specification. Stone ballast recommended to practice specification quality. Stone with a durable enough to resist the disintegrating influences of the climate will be used. It shall be hard enough to prevent pulverizing under the treatment of which is subjected. It shall break into angular pieces when crushed. Size, the maximum size of the ballast should not exceed the pieces which was passed through the screen having 2 inches hole. The minimum size shall not pass through the screen having 3¼ inch holes. Gravel, cinders, and burnt clay ballast. Gravel should be screened and washed for the prevention of the dust and the object that need whenever the character of the traffic is such that need dust and is not particularly objectionable. The recommended for the gravel screen, but the wash with the portion of the sand and clay exceeds 50%. The minimum size should be such that retain the screens of 12 meshes per inch. The size of the pebble would be retained throughout the careful test. Cinders. The use of cinders for lead valves are recommended with the following situation. On branch line for the light traffic, the siding of the yard track near the point of the production, the side ballast is wet and spongy in place of the cut of the on fills. So ballast new work when dumps are settling in places where the track of the hay heaved from the froth, the recommended with the provision may be made with wetting down the cinders immediately after being drawn. Burnt clay, the material should be black, and gumbo with other suitable clay from sand and silt. But the suitability of the material should be determined throughout testing of the small test kiln before establishing the best kiln. The material should be burned with the hardened thoroughly. The fuel used must be fresh and clean enough to burn with a clean fire. There is important sufficient supply to be kept on hand, but preventing interruption of the process. Burning should be done with the supervision of all experience of the competent burner of the bell should be allowed with the cool before it is loaded out of the pit, and absorption of the water should exceed not at 15%. Alright, committee number 3, ties. Definition of cross tie, the transverse member of the railway track with the support of the rail means with which the retained in position. Pole tie, the tie made with the trees of such size that no more than one tie can be made from the section. Such a tie generally shown with the sapwood on 2 sides. Split tie, a tie made by splitting from the tree with such size that the 2 or more ties can be made from the section. Slab tie, a tie made by slab. Sawed tie, a tie made by the trees of such size that the 2 ties only that can be made from the section. Quarter tie, a tie made with a tree of such size that 4 ties can only be made from the section. Half round tie, slab from which the greater width of the lower than one top of the face. Slab tie, a tie sawed with the top of the bottom only. Hewed tie, a tie hewed at least 2 sides. Sap tie, a tie which is more than the prescribed amount of the sapwood in cross section. Heart tie, a tie which is sapwood on the corners of which the sapwood does not meet the measure of more than 1 inch on the lines drawn diagram across the end of the tie. Strict heart tie, tie having no sapwood. Wayne tie, square tie showing the original surface of the tree of the one more corners. Dotty tie, a tie which contains the dry rot. Pecky tie, a tie made with a cypress tree which is affected with a fungus disease known as locally as peck. Tamp tie, a tie made with a tree resin turpentine in which has been extracted before the felling. Alright, Form 1, statistics of the cost tie renewals. Form 1A, comparison between the different kinds of wood. Or this shows the statistic for the crosstie. You have your divisions, railroad division on a system miles operated with all the main tracks, all the main tracks, including sidings, gross tonnage, passenger division year, locomotive and tendering, maximum weight in tons, formally loaded freight cars in tons, weight of the main track in pounds of the yards. Percentage of the track, curve the palleted ballast and the laid with the treated ties, kind of ballast percentage of each number of each track, mile track of the tile, know the number of the ties during the year, percent of the renewal of the number of the tracks, the average cost of the ties per ground division. Average cost ties delivered with the ground division, total cost of the tie, renewal of the miles of the track, average life of the cross ties in main tracks, side tracks, and all tracks, kind of timbers used within several kinds of the state, the percentage of the use. Those are all filled in with dots, so there was like comparison between different wood ties. You have your total on all tracks, total and ties removed, total percent of the repeated, see the total white oak and birk and oak and chestnut, pine, cedar, cypress totals, crustaceous, bourbon ties, burner ties, zinc tannins and total grand totals. Those are also not wrote on. Form 1B, life of the record of ties. Form 1C, statistic of the treated ties. You have 1888 to 1908 following 20-year differences. The total number of the cross ties along the laden tracks. These are all filled out with dots, so they're not any. So let's just like read the headings. You have your main siding track from 1994 to 1903 totally removed. The total number of the cross ties stamped in the year with the column 1 removed from the tracks in the year of the column 4 to A28 with the both inclusive. For the percent remaining track of the day of the report and the average year of the deduced statistical treated ties. Also not filled in with data. Division of the or not in system, chrysotop burnitized zinc titanium, chrysotop burnamized zinc iron titanium chrysotose. You have your pine, hemlock, beech, spruce, chrysotop burnitized zinc and then you have chrysotop burnitized and zinc titanium. Adjusting antiseptical use and amount injected per cubic foot per yard, number of the threaded ties in the track of to this date, number of the put in the tracks of this year. First cost unrestricted for the extra and ending for the I can't read that word. That's a long word. Alright, ties. Score marks. Marks made with the action of the guiding with the hewing, the shake, separation of wood fiber due to the action of the wind, check with small cracks in wood due to the seasoning, face, the upper and lower plane of the strip of the tie, forms of the record form, statistics with the cross tie renewals intent with the general statistical information concerning the life of the cross ties and use of the division, regardless of the kind of timbers except for the general waveform A1, comparison between the different kinds of the wood. This is more detailed with comparison between the different kinds of the woods and the preserve the process. We'll explain with many cases the surface of the ties one railroad is longer than one another. 1B, life with the record of the ties gives the life with the record of ties. 1C, with the statistic with the treaty ties intended for the give of the full detail of the concern with the preservation of the cross ties. Form 1D, report of the mark ties removed from the mark. This is recommended with the proper blank with line blank to be used with the section of the format for the reporting information required in Form 1B. The form can also be used with the reporting of the cross tie. Any cross tie members removal of the ties are marked in such a way that indicate the year laid. Form 1D, on section, removed from the maintenance of the track, number removed the year of the put in marked on the tie, the kind of timber treated, cause of the removal, the number removed from the sidings, the number that's removed in the yard, year put in the marked on tie timber, the treatment, cause of removal. Our specification of the ties recommended prior standard specification woods to be used. The following woods may be used with the timber without any preservation of the treatment: white oak family, longleaf streak with a heartwood, yellow pine, cypress, redwood, white cedar, chestnut, capitol, locust, except for the honey locust, walnut, black cherry. The woods to be treated. The following would be probably not to be used for the timber without preserving the treatment above the purchase: the red oak, beech, beak, elm, maple, nagum, lollybobble, Lolly, shortleaf, logs, ledge, western yellow pine, Norway, North Carolina pine, or other sap pines, red fir, spruce, hemlock, tamarack. Material and manufacture time must be well with the smoothly hewed to solve that with the straight growing the timber with the specify the dimension of the outline and line with the solid end with the straight and parallel space of the minimum width of the either face is not to be less than given the table dimension. The time must be the bark entirely removed with the being delivered on the company's grounds. Ties shall be free with the split and shakes loose with the decayed knots for any of the form of the imperfections which may impair the strength of the durability. Dimensions: except on the pole tie, the round side with the half round ties, none shall be less than 8 inches of the width of the face, and no tie shall be the thickness no less than 6 inches. A variation of the size permitted with 1/2 the over thickness of 2 inches over with width of 1 inch and over length. And pole ties with rounded sides and a half round tie with the width of the face may be less than given the table the dimension of the below. The least of the area of the cross section shall be less than an area corresponding with the tabular dimensions in this. As no case should the width of the face be less than 6 inches. A 7 and 10 inches. B 7 and 9 inches. C 7 and 8 inches, D 6 and 9 inches, E 6 and 8 inches, F 6 and 7 inches, G 6 and 6 inches. They are all 8 feet by 8 feet by 8.5 feet by 9 feet. Um, t- um, I'm not sure if this is it. All right. Ties which are delivered along with the right of way of the railroad must be piled with the station yard point between the station designated with the contract not less than 10 feet from the nearest rail. Each of the pile is either 25 or 50 ties built with the 2 ties to the ground with above with the alternate course of the 7 and 2 except for the top which should be placed to the from the watershed as shown in the diagram. Each pile must be plain with the mark with the owner's name. The 3 feet in space must be left between the piles and allow each of the inspection to save ties. Solid ties must be piled with separately from the hewed ties. All rejected ties must be removed with the company right away within 10 days after the notice is given. The 10 shall be cut as far as possible with the winter period, that is October and March. Committee number 4, rail, minimum standard length of the rail. Recommendation practices.